Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. M. Vijay Bhargavi, working as Associate Professor from Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry at RBVRR Women's College of Pharmacy. I welcome you all to the online webinar on Achieving Product Solution Fit and Product Market Fit by Dr. B. DIVYA PRIYA Madam, Innovation Ambassador from Coimbatore. It's my honor to introduce today's speaker, Dr. B. DIVYA, Associate Professor and Head Department of Commerce with Innovation Technology, Kongunadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. She has 14 years of experience in teaching and research. She has authored 35 research papers on marketing, banking, insurance, and finance published in various reputed Scopus and UGC indexed national and international journals. She has authored a book entitled Strategic Management and Intellectual Property Rights. She has published 2 patents. She has received the Best Paper Award from TJPRC Journals and Alpha College of Arts and Science, Chennai. She has also received the Excellence Award from the Professional Expertise, contributing during the 4th International Scientific E-Commerce on Global Education Research and Technology for Sustainable Development. Young Researcher Award from INSC and Best Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Enable Award from Kawaikai Chronicle and Women's Business Network. She has presented nearly 40 conceptual and research papers in national and international conferences and seminars. She is recognized research supervisor to guide MPhil and PhD scholars of commerce from Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, and produced 10 MPhil students and 1 PhD scholar and ongoing 2 PhD scholars. She has organized state, national, and international seminars and conferences. She has attended FDP on design thinking, national education policy, and skill development programs on GST and social media marketing. She has received meritorious awards for organizing conferences and seminars, paper publications in reputed journals. Her current area of research and research interest include social marketing, green marketing, microfinance and microinsurance, and entrepreneurial development. On completion of the training program on innovation and IPR and entrepreneurship sponsored by the Ministry of Education, she was tagged as an innovation ambassador by MOE to promote innovation and entrepreneurship skills among the students inside and outside the campus. She has hosted around 35 programs in developing entrepreneurial skills among the young community. With this introduction, now I request Divya Priya Madam to deliver his talk. I welcome you, Madam.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And can you play this slide, ma'am?
Yes, Madam. Is it clear, Madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is clear.
Okay.
So, good evening to one and all present here. And first of all, I want to thank Dr. Ratna ma'am for choosing me to deliver this session on achieving product market fit and problem solution fit. And Anusri ma'am, who has joined now today morning, she took in charge of, and other faculty members for this wonderful opportunity. So when it comes to startup, it is an entrepreneurial venture in the early stages of operations, typically created for resolving real life problems. As many startups solve society's need, they attract investors and funders because of the tremendous growth opportunities. And this is what important is. So when it comes to a startup, it just aims to created for resolving real life problems. Nowadays, people face lot of problems. So it is the first stage of startup is to understand what kind of problems the society is currently facing of. So when it comes to startup, there are two key. When it comes to stages of every startups life has two key stages. One is before product market fit and after product market fit. When it comes to before market product market fit, that is before you develop a product, you must confirm enough people whether they are ready for willingness to pay for your product, and your team cannot afford to focus on other important strategic objectives, and then only you can go for that. So what you're going to do, what you that is before what you're going to do before you develop a product. So product market fit is finding the right product, finding a good market with a product capable of satisfying the market. So, what is product capable? That is, product capabilities or the main abilities you need to have in order to perform the primary product functions. That is, defining a value added product and getting it delivered. And these capabilities includes product thinking, that is the ability to discover and solve for a problem that delivers value. And then you have to communicate essential informations to the product manager. Indirect leadership, which is the ability and to lead a team that delivers to deliver results through indirect rather than managerial reporting. Judgment, which is the ability to make sound decisions in challenging environment. And finally execution, which is the ability to get results and generally make things happen. So here we go. So you have to find a good market. Market is a place where buyers buy the product and sellers sell their products. And with the product capable of satisfying the market. Only if your product is satisfied by the customer. If your product fulfills the need of the customers, they will be ready to pay for your product. So unless your doesn't satisfy, customers will not pay for your product. This is the one reason why most of these startup companies fail. So here is, you have to find a good market with a good market with enough product capabilities. So product market fit is the degree to which a product satisfies the need of a particular market segment. And it just says product market fit just says how well your product meets the needs of your customers. Does your product give the people who make up your market something they need? And do you have a sustainable business with customers that keep coming back to your product? If you have found your competitive niche, you have a solid customer base and your business keeps on growing, and you can be said to have achieved product market fit. And why does one need product market fit? That is, getting the right product market fit is considered as one of the most important stages of product's life cycle. So product market fit is important to identify whether you are building a product that solves a real problem your customers are facing, or if you need to develop it to reach the point of customer delight. So what are all the requirements? What are all the things you have to see in order to make your customer delight? First, strengthening customer product relationship. To user so you have to go for researching whether the product is to understand the psychology behind the customer specific needs. That is, when it comes to startup, it has four stages. The foremost stage is ideation stage. Ideation stage is nothing but identify the need of the customers. So based on the need of the customers, you will go for validating that is, you will be coming up with most ideas, sometimes wild ideas. So, uh, so from that ideas, you have to check which idea works. That is, validation of the idea is the need of the hour. When the idea gets validated, you will go for converting your idea into a prototype. That is, into a product, and then you have to check the product with your customers with basic features in it. So you must have at least five customers, five to six customers, and they have to pay for your product. And if there is any feedback, if there is any negative feedback, you have to go for correcting your product. In case if your product is, if the feedback is positive, you can go for executing the same product. You can go for selling it to the large number of customers. That is it. So when it comes to strengthening customer product relationship, so you have to do user research to understand the psychology behind the customer's specific needs. So what need your product is going to solve of your customer and how your product can help solve them. And next is growth in customer space. That is, your product is in a unique position to fulfill a need, and no, and you don't have any competitors. Only just you have a unique position to fulfill a need. There is only one product released by you, and there is no other product in the market, which will naturally contribute to growth and sales. So when there is no competitors for your product, definitely you can catch hold of catch hold of the market and recognition in the market. So people, after satisfying a certain set of customers, people will start talking about your product and refer your product to your friends, family, to their friends, family, and colleagues. So word of mouth promotion works here and it helps to enhance your brand's presence in the market and helps establish you as a leader in your industry. Next slide. Ma'am. So when it comes to product market fit, there are four stages to product market fit. Number one is ideation, coming up with initial idea or service. First and foremost important thing is you have to identify the problem of the society. So empathy is most important featured in a design thinking important feature and first step in design thinking that you have to identify the problems of the society by standing in the feet of the others so that you can come with a real life you can solve a real life problems. So ideation, coming up with the initial idea for your product or service, and then you have to go for define. So what is the need of the society? After analyzing the problems, you have to after understanding the problems of your customers, you have to go for defining the problem. So you have to define your problem. After defining the problem, you will be able to come up with a lot of ideas. Sometimes both it is very important you understand ideas may be qualitative as well as quantitative. So do not consider qualitative features of the idea alone. Just consider quantitative ideas. That is number of ideas you can you have for solving the problems. And some ideas may also be wild. Please increase those kind of wild ideas also. That will also help you to give a solution. Next, you have to go for validating the idea. That is, which works, what kind of idea works for this problem, and which does not. That is very important. So, validating your idea. That is, which idea can be converted into a prototype. That is very important. Next is you have to go for iteration. Iteration is testing your product. That is after converting the idea into a prototype, you have to go for testing your idea with your customers. So you have to go for iteration. So first and foremost thing is you have to empathize what your customer feels, understanding their pain point, and then you have to define the problems. After defining the problems, you will be coming out with lot of ideas and you can validate the ideas, particular idea which can be converted into a prototype, into a product. So that after converting the idea into a product, you have to take your product to the market and you have to check whether the product works with your customers and what are all the pain points and touch points the prototype has, the product has. And after collecting the feedback from the user, you have to go for iteration, repeat process. After repeating, after your finding, there is no way of, after analyzing, your product can be improved. Definitely you can stand up in the market. So this is the first two stages, which says ideation and validation. So after validating your idea, you have to go for scaling. That is selling your product with a minimum number of customers. Selling your product with minimum number of customers so that you will be able to get what people are thinking about your products. Finally, product market fit. That is the desired outcome. After getting the feedback, you will be going for corrections required in the product, or else what features you have to add on to your products. So such things it can be considered. Next slide, ma'am. So stage one is nothing but initial idea. So you have to choose the problem you're going to solve. So you have to analyze the problems which you are going to solve of the society and define your target audience. So who is your target audience lies the matter. Next is you have to create a customer persona, understanding the psychological, sociological, and psychographic features of the customers, and do competitive research. That is, come up with a value proposition. So, and decide on your minimum viable product. So, when it comes to minimum viable product, that is first thing is you must check whether your idea, that is your whether the idea which has been converted into a prototype has to solve a real life problem. Whether your product solves real life problem, a problem that can be approached to many people, and your customers should be ready to pay for your product. That is very important. A problem that many people have and are willing to pay money to resolve. Next is customer persona. That is means taking into consideration general details about your average customer, such as the demographic, gender, and socioeconomic status, and so on. Next is minimum viable product. That is MVP. It's the first version of your product or service with just basic features in its place. And it's the starting point, and it has lot of potential to develop further, but it's good enough to get customer feedback. So when it comes to minimum viable product, you have to check what is the, you have to identify the core features of your product, what your product is going to solve, the problem of the society. And then you have to go for develop a prototype, test your minimum viable product to the targeted customer, to the targeted user, iterate and refine and measure success. That is it. Next, that is, so you have to go for minimum viable product. So first and foremost thing in stage one is initial idea. So choose the problem you're going to solve. Define your target audience. Understanding the problem of the society, defining their problem then, and then you have to go for creating a customer persona, do competitive research, come up with a value proposition. Value proposition is nothing but it is a statement that conveys what a brand does and how it differs from competitors, what your customer needs and cares about, what you do really well, and what your competition does really well. So understanding that plays it. So next is you have to go for decide on your minimum viable features. That is, you have to devise a product in such a with just minimum features, and you have to check the features with the targeted user, and if the targeted user is satisfied with your product, and you can sell it directly to the market. And if not, you have to go for, again you have to go for bringing out continuous improvement in your product. Next slide, ma'am. So this is about buyer persona. That is buyer persona. Customer persona is nothing but representation of your ideal customers that helps you and your team better visualize and market to your target audience. So you must know what the user of the product think about your products and benefits. So when you have identified the buyer persona, you marketing will become much easier. You can increase your sales performance. You can bring implement in your product and many more things you can have for your product development in developing your product. And it just includes, when it comes to buyer persona, it includes all demographic information such as age, location, education, occupational income, psychographic information, values, interests, and lifestyles, and behavioral information, goals, pain points, shopping habits, and decision making process. Next slide, ma'am. Ma'am, next slide, please. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
move to next slide, ma'am? Can you move
Yeah.
to next slide, ma'am? So in this stage two, you need to identify whether or not there is actually interest in the minimum viable product, which means you need to validate your minimum viable product. So validation, you have to identify. Validation means testing out your idea in the real world with the kind of some ideas which you have come up may be stupid and some may work and some may not work. But you have validating your idea means you're going to validate your minimum viable product. So that you have to discover who your target user is and find a problem solution fit, pivot, or persevere. So pivot is central point where your customers comes up with the product. So when it comes to pivot, that is you can optimize your minimum viable product. So very kind of feedback which is useful to gain over and validate your customer personas. So collecting data is very maybe critical and decide if you're going to pivot or persevere. That is whether you're going to have it as as it is or you're going to achieve with something better. So this is it. This is it. So idea validation and problem solution fit. That is coming up with you have to you have to identify whether or not there is actual interest in the minimum viable product you have built. So, which means you need to validate your minimum viable product. And how do you validate your minimum viable product? So, validation means testing out your idea in the real world with the kind of people you're interested in having as customers. It might take the form of surveys, interviews, focus groups, and online reach. And for example, you also that is if you want to validate your minimum viable product, so one thing have to be remember. So many businesses make it to the stage but then fail to scale up. Why means because reaching a problem solution fit and product market fit are two totally different things. So it's better if you go move to next slide. So here we go. Problem solution fit is when you have confirmed through research and testing that real people experience the need you identified with your idea and that they feel your product or service could be the answer to that need. So you can that is after researching and testing, you will be able to identify the need of the people so that you will be coming with your idea that and that idea will be converted into a product. So you can so you can it can the problem can be solved. And when it comes to product market fit is when you have gone beyond the first group of enthusiastic people and found the same need and appetite in the wider population. So it is just identifying the need and giving a solution. When it comes to product market fit, your product is already accepted and you have to check what are the other kind of features you have to add back in your product so that you can reach to the wider population. You will also have tweaked and refined your product to meet the need of the wider market and have built a solid foundation that gives you the potential scale and grow. So both of them are very important. However, we consider only the second keeps your business alive because the product is already designed. That is solution has been identified for the problems faced by the society. That solution has come up with the product, and you have to check whether the product has captured enough market or not. So you have to bring all your customers. When you want to scale up your business, definitely you have to expand your product to many customers. That is, you have to catch hold of many customers. So you have to attract new customers. You have to retain back the existing customers. Next is, so number three, scaling with a repeatable selling motion. Your product is selling itself through different channels and selling mechanism. So at this stage, you have to start scaling. Scaling is you have to go for expansion. Scaling here doesn't mean that the founder of the business is making sales calls over the phone. It means your product is selling itself through different channels and selling mechanism. So this stage is characterized by thorough understanding of who your ideal customer is. So core group of happy customers who continuously refer you to other customers. So word of mouth plays a vital role here. If one customer is satisfied with your product, definitely that customer will go and inform to other customers about your product, and and the other customer will also will also be will come to you as a new customer, and that can build the network of your company and go to market strategy that constantly generates a new customers. So you have to adapt some other strategies also that enables that keeps customers in, that brings in new customers for your product. And at this stage you also need to focus your efforts on a series of trackable metrics for the overall that reflects the overall growth of the company. That is, you have to measure your success, measure how far your product is successful to the market. So this success metric is the reason why you need to build a feedback loop. So a feedback collection mechanism that will help you design new experiences and then continuously improve them. And finally, stage four, when a startup, ma'am, can we move to the next slide, ma'am? So stage four is when a startup finally finds a widespread set of customers that resonate with your product, that helps them to bring more customers to your product and protect you from competition. This will help you. If your product has satisfied your customers, it will just keep your customer competitors away so that you can survive in the long run also. Most of the businesses aims to sell minimum viable product is because of this. They will be able to gain they will be able to get the feedback from the users of the product so that they can improvise their products. So that will help them to protect themselves from competitors in future and keeps them safe from market changes. So whatever the market has changed, their product will be withholding, will stand firm in the market. It is this stage actually a startup need to get your gears turning and start seeking growth. So once if your customer is satisfied with your product, definitely that helps that they have to go for further growth. That is expansion and modernization of the business plays a vital role here. So they have to go for that. And when it comes to product market fit, it is not just about creating a product to sell, but also it is about developing the product design, presentation, and marketing. So, aligning your product marketing, sales, customer management, design teams to reach a point where you can proudly say you have achieved a product market fit. So, understanding the customer Understanding the problem becomes the need of the hour. That is, becomes the need to solve the real life problem. So understanding the user, their pain points while they are using their products, everything catches the attention. And problem solution fit means that you have found a problem with your customer and that the solution you have realized for it actually solves the customer's problem. So your the problem here, you have to understand problem solution fit aims to solve the problem of your customers by finding a solution that actually works on customers' problem. Product market fit is just about creating a product to sell, but also includes the product developing the product's design, presentation, and marketing. So aligning your product marketing, sales, customer management with the teams to reach a point where you can proudly say you have achieved a product market fit. And how to get a product problem solution fit. So, who is your customer? First, identifying who is your customer. Please, what is the need of your customer and what is the problem of the customer? So, empathize. Just stand on the feet of the customer, analyze their problems. And is the customer aware of the problem? Some customers may be aware of their problems and some may not. So you must know whether the customer is aware of the problem or not, and what is your product or service. So working on the problem, customer's problem, you have to identify what is your product, that is, what is your idea, and what are the alternative solutions you can bring for your customers to keep your customers happy, and what are considerations your customers ask while choosing a solution, and does your product or service actually solve the customer's problem. And you have to mix again. If your product has satisfied your customers, then you have to go for building, measuring, learn, and again you have to go for cycling. It's like, so it is all about, if you want to find a product market fit, you have to focus on the marketing first. You have to focus on the market first. So understanding your customer becomes is very important to develop idea into your prototype and to take your product for selling it in the market. So product market is very important. So the first thing is you have to identify your target customer. The first step is identifying who your target customer is. After identifying your target customer, you have to find out what they are looking for and what type of product they wanted. So target user may be a person or a company. And then you have to determine your target customer's needs. So what is the need of your target customer? So identifying the need and unaddressed desires of your ideal customer and what your product is meant to do what your product is meant to do for them. And your product must solve their problems and fulfill their desires. And then you have to go for defining your value proposition. So value proposition is some total of all customer perceived benefits that they can avail from using the products. So it is very important to find out what benefits of your products or and how that can benefit your customers to be able to determine whether your value proposition will resonate with them. And then you have to go for specify the minimum viable product feature of your product, set of your products. So when it comes to product development, there are several steps. So that is it. So you have to identify your first thing is who is your customers, and then what is the problem of the customers? Are they aware of their problems, and what kind of solutions you can bring for solving this problem of your customers, and what considerations do your customers has while choosing your product as a solution, and does your product or service actually helps to resolve the customer's problem. And again you have to go for iteration process. That is, if your customer is satisfied with the product, you can go for you can go for the catching the area, vast area, or else you have to again you have to go for iteration. You have to go for improvise what is as per the need, improvise your product as per the requirements, as per the needs of the products. So it is very important. So you have to go with build your first minimum viable prototype feature set. Then you have to go for testing your prototype with customers. And then if your customer is satisfied, you can go for catching. You can go for the spread widespread of the population, or else you have to check what is the pain point of the customers have in while using your product, and you have to convert the pain point into touch point so that if they are satisfied you can go for further expansion. Ma'am, next slide. So these are all the factors that determine a product market fit. First thing is customer needs and wants. So identifying the customer needs and want plays a role. Next is the market size, growth rate, and the customer base. So what is the market size? So size of the market in terms of numbers, growth rate. So based on the market size, how much you can expand? Because if you're building a product, if you are devising a product for a blind customer, definitely I can say the size of the market will be less, and growth rate, that is sales of the product, will also be very less because only few will have very few will be using your product. And the customer base. And what is the customer base? And cost of entry for competitors. What is the company resources and what are the barriers to enter into the large market? So those things. So I have to I'm giving you I will go for explaining this with one of the e-commerce website, case study of one of the e-commerce website and how they have built their product with minimum viable features. So I think everyone might have used Flipkart. Flipkart is an e-commerce website that helps to buy and sell goods, and also you can avail certain kind of services also through Flipkart. So at the time of minimum viable product, this Flipkart, it just sells only one category, which is a books. It sold only books. Next is it comes customer persona. So who is the user of books, and what are the geographical and which of the geographical locations they are people are demanding more. So geographical location becomes mandatory for them, becomes an important features while releasing minimum viable product. So the first category is sold via e-commerce website is books, mostly Bangalore to start with, and basic functional website for customers to order, manual order management and inventory. That is, instead of owning the inventory, instead of owning the book, what they did is after getting the order from the customers, they just ran to the store and collect the books from the stores, and they just sell to their customers. This is the case happened when Flipkart was opened as a released minimum viable product and self-delivery. That is, in early days, founder themselves used to procure the product, do door delivery. What they wanted to test is e-commerce acceptance as 2007 to 9, 2009, the early years of online commerce in India. It was the very earliest stage, and initial customer adoption as books is a niche segment with loyal audience. Only people who have a passion towards reading books will go for shopping online for books, and notes and books of what a full-fledged system. That is, sorry, not notes and books, nuts and bolts of what a full-fledged system would like with a very standard, and then category like books and refund and Product return cycle was minimal as books doesn't have issues like size, etc. And huge catalog. This is customer engagement on site. And once they had the validation, they started scaling in terms of pin code coverage, adding more categories, and building sophisticated system. Now, if you take the uh, Flipkart website, you can see they are not only selling books, they are selling so much of products also. So much of products, so much of games you can avail playing online, and many more things we can go for that. So this is what. So minimum viable product, that is, great products are developed in isolation or not developed in isolation. If you are dealing with any kind of products, it becomes necessary that you develop products that satisfy your product users and fulfill their needs and expectations with your product. But how will you know what your customers and product users want? What makes them happy and what ruins their experience? Here comes product market fit feedbacks that helps you know how will your product fits in the market and satisfy the needs of the product user. Only through this feedback, you can assess the level of alignment between your product or service and the target market it serves. So, why use it? A great product is the brainchild of an innovative idea, intense market research, customer feedback, and iterations. And pulling off these very well would mean more, would bring would bring more revenue to the company, and it costs only lower customer acquisition cost, because if customers are satisfied with your product, they will go for telling other people to buy your product. So based on the word of mouth, referrals from customers for your business. And then you have to analyze the feedback. So based on how far your customers are satisfied with your product. So analyzing how much useful is your product to your customers. So you have to analyze how far your product aims to solve the problem, realized problem of the society. Does it solve users' issue? So what kind of issues it is solving your customers? And how unique is your product in the market? So what kind of uniqueness that helps your product to survive in the market? And if your product suddenly goes unavailable in the market, what would your customers behave? Or whether you have to check whether their life will get affected, or they can easily switch over to any other product. You have to check those kind also. And product market fit feedback is extremely useful in developing minimum viable product that helps to gain insights from yearly users. So based on their feedback, so it is very important to check whether your product is liked by the customers or not, and what kind of solution your product can bring, and how far it will help it will help your customers. So it is of an open ear is the only believable sign of an open heart. So it works for product also. So a minimum viable product, if it is sold rightly to your underserved, if your product is able to solve the underserved needs of the customer, definitely you will gain more over the things. You can win over more things. So I conclude my session, and I can check whether if there is any queries related to the achieving problem solution fit and product market fit.
Thank you very much, madam. Madam, there are some questions from our participants, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So first question is, can you provide some examples of successful products that have achieved product market fit? What are the factors do you believe contribute to this success?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, product market fit is achieved by Google. Gmail. At the time of release of Gmail, they have only two features. One is sending mail and receiving mail. After the successful of this only, the other features. That is, the problem identified as more and more. People started sending more and more by giving just reply by choosing over the reply options alone. Then they go for giving the chat options so that people will come up with other ideas also. Then unwanted mails should be deleted, and there is a spam in it. So if we check on today, we have lot of features. For example, Google Classroom, they just at the time of releasing, they have only a screen sharing and chat techniques. And
Yeah.
now, if we go for Google Meet, you can see what is the requirement is that a teacher always feels bad and worried about what is hanging behind her screen. So it becomes they have understand the problem of the teacher, and they have given screen also wallpapers behind so that you can pick it from any of the screen and it works. Now if you check on Google, it has so much of features added in their product. So this is the best example. Googling itself is the best example.
Thank you, madam. One more question,
Yeah, ma'am.
madam.
Yeah, ma'am.
How does customer feedback and market research contribute to the process of achieving product solution fit?
Ma'am, only if you're, ma'am, this is very simple. Because I will tell you a case. This will happen in everyone's house. When a mother cooks a new food, what she does, she just brings the food to the people that is raw food, off
Yeah.
cooked food. She will be bringing and she will be asking us what is the other requirements. Is salt is enough? Is other karam is enough? Sugar is added, sugar to be added, and what to be included and what to be reduced. So this is the thing, ma'am. This is very simple.
Yeah, madam, one more last
Yeah,
question, madam.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
How do you define product solution fit, and what are the key indicators that suggest a product has achieved it or not?
Ma'am, first thing is we have to identify the core features of the product. So, by identifying the core features of the product, that is identifying the core features means we must identify what is the feature of your product that solves the customer, solves the real life problem of the customers. If you are able to analyze, if you are able to if you are able to identify the feature itself, you can just take off what other features you are is required. So one thing is, here I can give one case study. For example, dairy milk chocolate. If you just go for dairy milk chocolate, people are very pretty having in consuming chocolates, but the owner is what is required is what is the improvement they can bring forth to in order to avoid pesticides and other insecticides nearing their products, pest and those things. They have silver coated, gold coated, and other plated materials uh, designed around the chocolates. So those kind of features also plays a vital role, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much, madam, for accepting our invitation and for your insightful presentation on achieving product solution fit and product market fit. Thank you, one
Yes,
and
ma'am.
all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, students.